I'll show you where your seats are. Okay, right here.
No, not for like zero. This right here.
Kids meal, kids meal.
No, up short.
Well, let's build up both sides. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't like to be in the game. Like, really, I'll get it.
Just fill us in.
Oh.
Alright, smile everybody. You. Yes. Just like.
Yes, turn around. Thank you.
You can't stop moving.
I have to yeah.
Take this
Oh, yeah. I asked Amber. She'll be fine. She needs to take pictures. Yeah, so we closed. We had end of April. Memorial Day weekend in Oregon, Wisconsin. Yeah, so it's gonna I'm sure. I know. Yeah, you guys choose one. Yeah, or you can just take it on one and send it to each other. Oh, look at that. No, we're like, yeah, we're basically there. So we're gonna get my parents are gonna walk from the house. So we're in our same neighborhood. Then we're gonna do the thing, and then we're gonna go down and experience the fun house there. Then we're gonna come back to my parents. I just have to work trip myself. And then we're gonna spend his brother's flat up in their house. So we'll be yes. He's done on the 21st. Of course, this is awesome. And they're real kids club.
Yeah, you see, you're mom and dad, right?
Green. This is the other one. Sorry. My mom and dad are over Hawaii right now. So my name
We got some.
That's fair.
I know. I don't know that like you're Tyler's interested in you. I can't remember the last time. Right here. The light's gonna.
I don't care what flavor.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is I've been told to remind everyone that it's about time to sit down for dinner. So if you could please finish up your last few minutes of your conversation and get your drinks, and then we'll sit down for dinner and get on with the program in about half an hour. Thank you.
Sounds good to me. Let's talk more about that. Sizes are all hilarious. Because we're feeding it through the dry, just some that are like really tiny and some that are really big. Did you have personally back? You do. Well, it's really expensive. It's a little expensive. It's like a 120 temperature on a kid. That's it. That will above that. Very wise. Huh? At 120? No, that's just make it seldom just like grilling for 120. This is like 2-3 minutes and that's about it. I've never heard of it. Sure, don't do it. Yeah. That would make it a lot more accurate. My first one was Sorry. Yeah. You were out at and we were teaching there was stuff that she was trying my little daughter Fritz and so we went to a couple of them so we sneak into the water. For like 2 hours. That's really good for moving everything. And we went back on. Oh man, she loves me though. Some kind Probably around here. Oh, man, he's going on. And they're really, they're really lucky. We have a lot of people very weird kind of
Hi, everyone. Hi. Please continue eating. But we're going to start our program so that we get through our many, many accolades in time for some children to possibly do okay tomorrow. And I want to thank everyone so much for being here. I love this event every year and love looking out and seeing all the residents' families and the faculty and everyone else here to celebrate our graduating class. I know that Dr. Moreno wishes she could be here tonight as our department chair. However, she has her own daughter's graduation from high school to attend. So she sends her apologies and best wishes. And I think I'd like to move on to the keynote speaker for our event, the winner of the Varness Award for Teaching of Residents last academic year, who will do the honor this year, is Dr. Laura Chen.
Just adjust this to my height here. Thank you, Dan. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the pediatric hospitalists. When Dan first emailed me asking if I could give a speech at graduation, I thought, is he sure he wants to let me speak in public? Little did he know, my 9-year-old daughter had her tonsils out on Wednesday. So if I stumble on my words, it's not because I've been at the open bar, but I've been handing out Tylenol and ibuprofen every 4 to 6 hours for the last few days. My husband actually has been helping, but he's not here, so I'm not going to give him any credit for that. And that, graduates, is lesson number 1, which is take credit when you can. I'm just kidding. Not that kind of speech. Experiencing the medical field from the perspective of a patient and a parent is always very humbling and very tiring. But I don't think I have to tell any of our graduates here what it's like to be up at night for prolonged periods of time. And for most of you, those days are over. You can cheer. Who was cheering? Yeah, you can cheer. That's good, right? I didn't know Dr. Todd Barnes, but everything I've heard about him from those who did makes me wish I had known him. He sounds like he was an incredible teacher, an inspiring physician, and qualities that I'm even just really touched to be peripherally connected to, and qualities that I think our graduates here can strive to incorporate into their own careers as physicians and teachers. Working with residents and learners is truly one of the best parts of my job. The other best part is taking call from home, which I hope a lot of you start to experience soon. But really, as much as I have the privilege of teaching others what I know, I'm also learning from each of you. I recently listened to a resident share bad news with a family, and I was listening, mentally taking notes on the compassionate, thoughtful way this resident did it for the next time I have to do so. Working with residents, I've also learned a lot, especially in the last few years, about Taylor Swift, Vanderpump Rules, and received my fair share of entertaining TikTok videos and Instagram reels. I was reading a book recently. Reading is one of those things you can do in your spare time now that you're done with residency. I was reading a book called Letter to a Young Female Physician, which was written by an internist in Boston. And one of the part of the book really struck me. It talked about how the practice of medicine can have multiple meanings. We talk about practicing medicine as caring for our patients, but practice also refers to the never-ending process of learning. And the amazing thing about medicine is there is always something new to learn. I'm not that old. You wouldn't know it because I think I have hit the stage where I have been found to say, well, when I was in residency, we took call for 30 hours in a row and walked uphill in the snow both ways. But really, I was thinking back, and when I started my intern year, the vital signs were still on paper. We used to unfold them in these really beautiful charts and look at them. Computers did exist at the time, but we just didn't have them yet. Thinking about all the things I've learned over the years makes me grateful for those who taught me along the way. And that is another lesson to remember. There's always something out there you don't know. Or maybe for you glass half full folks, there's always more to learn. I remember starting my first job after residency. I was terrified, partly because they had me do circumcisions and I was going to be unsupervised, but also because I was supposed to be in charge all of a sudden. That was new for me. But however, the other thing I think to remember is that there's always someone to ask for advice, whether that be your new partners, your co-fellows, other attendings, or your best friend from medical school who went into infectious disease, that's the person I text all the time. For many of you, this is the end of a long road of training. I did the math at home, and remember, I'm a little bit sleep deprived. But if we count kindergarten, today is the culmination of being in school or training for 24 years. And we should count kindergarten because that's where we all learn to go to the bathroom independently and take turns, which are pretty important life skills. Everyone in this room is here as they have played a role in your journey in residency. Maybe your clinic mentor who taught you how to successfully dose Miralax and the age when you can walk up the stairs backwards while whistling. Or your co-resident, someone you didn't even know 3 years ago, and now you've shared endless rounds and built friendships that I think will last a lifetime. I also want to recognize the family members here who supported you, who waited 4 weeks until you were no longer on an inpatient rotation to have a meal with you, who never knew how long you'd be at work. If they had $1 for every time you replied to a text, "I can't talk, I'm at the hospital still," you could pay off all your student loans. Let's give a huge round of applause for all of those family members who supported you. And finally, congratulations to all our graduates. We're so proud of each of you for all your hard work over the last 3 years, and we can't wait to see what you guys will all do next.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chen, even though you stole my thunder for later. Next up, I would like to invite Dr. Sammy Tyler in the Global Health Track Certificate of Completion presentation. Dr. Tyler.
Hello, I am not Nikki Sinclair, but I'm going to read what she wrote for all of you. She had a family thing come up last minute, and she wishes that she could be here and there at the same time, but alas, here I am filling her extremely big, wonderful shoes. Or fabulous, that's her word. So I'm presenting for the Pediatric Global Health Track Leadership. And she says, tonight I'm honored to have the opportunity to acknowledge this year's Global Health Track graduates. Wow. Does this thing work? It's on. Thanks. Sure. So residents with the global health interest have the opportunity to enroll in the global health track prior to starting their intern year. And the track offers supplemental global health training opportunities over the course of 3 years that is above and beyond the standard residency training. Track residents commit 2 weeks every fall to the multidisciplinary fundamentals and global health course, comprised of didactics, simulations, procedure training, case discussions, and other educational initiatives. They also attend monthly evening sessions where topics are explored with invited speakers, and their participation is entirely optional and intended to help equip them to address health disparities throughout their careers, both in stateside and international settings. This year's graduating class and departing residents were a phenomenal group. Committed, thoughtful, collaborative, and inspirational. They will all be greatly missed, and I will ask each graduate to come up to the podium when their name is called, and we'll hand out their certificates at the end. First up is Jack Quick, who joined us after completing his undergraduate and medical school studies in Lebanon. Jack's life experiences and thoughtful perspectives have deeply enriched our global health discussions these past 3 years. He is also one of the most thoughtful trainees with whom we have ever worked, always showing up with dessert at any event, this is true, never failing to inquire about our families and loved ones, and kindly helping to develop an infrastructure for our department to better support international medical graduates. Jack returned to Lebanon for his global health elective this spring, equipped with new perspectives after 3 years of stateside training and re-immersing in a country that has undergone drastic changes over the last several years. We are thrilled that Jack will be staying with us at UW as an allergy and immunology fellow. Hey! Does it work now? Thank you. There you go. Next is Dr. Matt Lammers, who graduated from Washington University in St. Louis School of Medicine and returned to his Madison undergrad home for residency. Matt, who is fluent in Spanish, spearheaded some important initiatives at UW related to improving the care of patients who had recently migrated to the U.S. through education and the development of local clinical practice guidelines. Matt just returned from a global health elective in Guatemala, where he served to oversee a team that offers primary care services in collaboration with local providers on a biannual basis. We are sad to say goodbye to Matt as he heads off to Nationwide Children's in Ohio, where he will pursue dual fellowship, which he created, in infectious disease and hospital medicine. We are very proud to watch him navigate these steps, and it will undoubtedly be a remarkable life and career. And then we have Dr. Machi Maskowski. Say it for me. Maskowski, thank you. Come on up. I even practiced it ahead of time. I still got nervous. Sorry. He graduated from the University of Queensland School of Medicine Oceaner Clinical School after first exploring prior careers as an applied behavioral analyst therapist for Hispanic children with autism in Milwaukee, as well as an interpreter and a linguist. A father of 2 young boys, he expertly juggled family, clinical, and academic life with the remarkable support of his wife, Aubrey, and his family. Machi participated in a local global health elective at the Center for Special Children in Lafarge, Wisconsin this spring and worked with Plain communities. We are sad to say goodbye to Machi and his family as they transition to Milwaukee for his pulmonary fellowship. But we are thrilled that they will be at least nearby and are hopeful that we can collaborate in the 3 years to come. Last but certainly not least is Dr. Rachel Streckert, who is from Central Wisconsin and did med school at MCW. Rachel's residency application intrigued us with her prior eclectic experiences as an FBI intern. I did not know that. A pharmacy tech and a hydrate caretaker. And she has wowed us with her performance as a resident. In addition to participation in the global health track, Rachel attended an NGO-based conference with her husband, Ben, in an effort to identify opportunities for global engagement for them as a family in the years to come. And we are thrilled to have Rachel join us as a chief resident next year as she prepares for a career working with children with medical complexity. Our Division of Global Pediatrics and the Global Health Track members would like to extend a special thanks to Doctors Moreno, Wald, Frona, Sklansky, and the chief residents for their unwavering support of the Global Health Track. It is not an easy feat to excuse large cohorts of residents for 2 weeks every single fall during their fundamentals course, and the 4 weeks for senior global health electives, but they and the stellar chiefs make it possible every year, and our program could not thrive without them. To our remarkable graduates, we are proud of you, and we can't wait to see the amazing things that you go on to do in your careers. And whether your travels take you near or far, you will always have a home and a family back here in Madison. Congratulations.
Thanks again to Dr. Tyler for pinch hitting for Nikki Sinclair, whose daughter is in a state tournament tonight and hopefully winning. All right, next up is our Dr. Andy Jones and Kristen Martin to present primary care pathway certificates of completion.
Hello, everybody, and congratulations to all the graduating residents. We're so excited for you. We have 4 senior residents this year who are graduating our primary care in pediatrics pathway, which is a special pathway that the good Dr. Martin here created, recognizing, avoid, and really amplifying the primary care education of those dedicated to going into general pediatrics after graduation. These residents, in addition to joining us for evening meeting sessions to talk about various issues in primary care, also do an elective month as a primary care pre-tending, where they basically are the doctor in clinic to really try to amplify their experience before going out into the real world. And I have to say, as an attending to somebody currently doing the primary care elective, it is a very sweet month for us because I just get to sit back in my office and take a little nap and just say, tell me if you need me. Kidding, not kidding. But these residents have come to all of our meetings with very insightful discussion on the different topics that they've presented. We're really, really proud of them and are looking so forward to them going into primary care, which I feel is a field, often, serving as the unsung heroes sometimes, and to do good work wherever you go. So if you could please come up and join us at the stage, Dr. Dave Arndt. Yeah. We have Dr. Melissa Luwaji. Dr. Ryan McMunn. And Dr. Kaya Nelson. All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh no, Kaya's still coming. Sorry. All right. Yeah.
Thank you, primary care pathway. Next up is the published research pathway certificate of completion presented by Dr. Emily Riedinger.
All right, so the published pathway is a additional curriculum on top of their residency activities for residents who wish to engage in more scholarly work in residency above and beyond what they're already required to do by the ACGME. All residents have to do a scholarly project, but these residents have chosen to make research and scholarship a larger part of their career. These residents attended a once monthly session for teaching, and these were mostly on Zoom. One of my favorite parts of these sessions is that I got to see residents' families. So we often had children joining us as they ate their evening meal, spouses and partners. I got to see pets. I sometimes got to see the inside of call rooms where the residents were trying to squeeze this in amidst their incredibly busy residency career already. So in addition to that monthly meeting, they also engaged with their mentors to complete a scholarly project and were part of an annual retreat twice annually for our second years, and so devoted a lot of extra time to honing their skills in scholarship. I forgot to ask how to advance this. Okay, thanks. All right. So Amal is our first resident who joined us during our second year. I asked each of the residents to share with me their proudest scholarly accomplishments over the past 3 years. So a not exhaustive list for these residents, many of whom have done things in addition to what you'll see on the screen here. But Amal was able to complete projects, including a presentation at a national meeting on her work in the field, primarily in the field of neurology. And we were delighted to have Amal join us for her final 2 years of residency. So you can come on up and get your certificate. And for the residents, it will surprise you not, having occasionally attended the meetings with me. I think last month, I was like, ooh, I mixed up our presenters and I'm going to pinch hit this month or that month kind of thing. That I forgot to put my John Hancock on those. So I'll have to find you after to actually put the signature on those. Dr. Sklansky, the more responsible member of our program leadership, has his signature on there, and I'll find you later to put it. All right. Next, we have Jack Quake, who you may remember from the Global Health Project, who has opted for a career in allergy and immunology and focused his scholarly work in that area, and been working on 2 articles, which is a huge feat during residency. And for all of the residents you'll see here, I just want to applaud how much these folks were able to accomplish during residency when the clinical demands are so high. And to put this in context, I'm now someone who's leading our scholarship track, and during residency did 0 scholarship because I was so overwhelmed by the clinical demands. So all of the residents who are here on this track have just blown me away by their ability to be so productive during this incredibly busy time. And then presented at PAS, which is a national pediatric conference. So Jack, come on up. All right. Next, we have Nicole Majachani. Nicole was able to publish a case report during residency and has really spearheaded a QI project. And for somebody who spends time in the primary care world, this has been hugely important as we think about infants who leave the NICU. So sometimes we have premature infants who leave the NICU and they are too small to be able to sit upright in a regular car seat and maintain oxygenation because their necks go like this. And so they go home in a car bed, which is pictured here. And then when they enter the primary care world, we're not sure when to transition these children out of their car bed and into a traditional car seat as they continue to grow. So Nicole has spearheaded within our institution some work to aid primary care providers in this decision tree and make sure that we safely transition our youngest neonates to a safe position in their car seats and are able to continue on that developmental trajectory. Come on up, Nicole. All right, Dan Murphy, who I saw with his beautiful baby back there, congratulations, was able to, is an avid naturist. So spending time in nature, hiking initially with his dog is who I would usually see you with, but it seems like now you're going to have another passenger along on your hikes with you, and developed a passion for making sure that children had access to spaces to spend time in nature, recognizing that we know there are positive health outcomes both for the physical activity that nature affords as well as spending nature and time in general. And so worked on a project to really spread information about that among youth in the Dane County and Madison area, which included personally hiking 100 connected miles of the Ice Age Trail to try to figure out where we're going to recommend that we send our children, and then creating materials to do so. So come on up, Dan. Congratulations. And please continue to spread that love for outside time and nature in your future career. All right. And then last but not least, we have Anthony, who didn't send me a picture, so he's circled back there. That's him. In fairness, he was the first one to respond to my email request. So Anthony was able to publish 2 papers during his residency, as well as complete a QI project on young adult cancer survivorship educational series. And so we're super excited for your ongoing career and to see what additional academic work comes from your time in the published pathway. Come on up, Anthony. So congratulations to all of you, and just my very heartfelt, just incredibly impressed by all of the work that each of you was able to complete during this very busy time of your lives. And I'm so excited to see what each of you contributes to the field of pediatrics in the future, shaping the way that we continue to care for children for years to come.
Thank you, Dr. Riedinger. All right, last but not least of our pathways is our osteopathic manipulative medicine pathway certificate of completion, presented by Drs. Kelly McGregory and Sammy Tyler.
Hello, good evening. I'm Kelly McGregory. I'm the director of the Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine Pathway. This is an optional pathway that was established to provide DO residents with a structured way to maintain and perfect their OMM skills while completing residency training. This year we have one OMM graduate, Dr. Ryan McMunn. Come on up, Ryan. Ryan arrived with advanced OMM skills and shared his knowledge at every opportunity. We are truly thankful for Ryan's enthusiasm for teaching and all things OMM. And this is Sammy, who's also a clinical instructor on the pathway.
So I'm going to spill a little bit of beans, just a little, about the fact that Ryan was actually originally planning to go into family medicine with all the adults with their yucky feet. So the whole time, I mean, good choice, much cuter feet. They stink a lot less, no diabetic foot ulcers, blah, blah, blah. So the whole time that I knew him, from the time that he was a first-year med student, he was really excited to come back to Wisconsin to practice full-spectrum family medicine near where he grew up. But then right before application season for residency, we met to go on a walk, and he started telling me about his realization that actually maybe pediatrics, which is an excellent choice, maybe fit his passions and values more, and that his preceptor, Lindsay Geyer, had Freudian slipped this idea into his mind, and now he just couldn't unsee it. So we had a long talk about what that might mean and what he would maybe be giving up if he made this transition from family medicine to pediatrics. And his biggest concern, that I remember at least, was his ability to maintain his osteopathic identity. There's only, at the time and still, only one osteopathic recognition track in the whole country, and he definitely did not want to live in Oklahoma. And then one thing led to another, and bippity-boppity osteopathy, here we are, almost 4 years later, and constant scheming that whole time. And you're about to become a pediatrician working in the clinic that you first recognized your calling to become a pediatrician in. And you have not only maintained your osteopathic identity, but you've inspired every single person around you at least a little bit to find their inner osteopath. One conversation about chin tucks at a time.
That's right.
Thank you for everything that you have done to make this pathway possible. Your presence will be very, very sorely missed. Your future colleagues and patients are so lucky to have your ever-digging mind, your dreaming heart, and your thinking, feeling, seeing hands. Cheers.
Thank you, Dr. Tyler, Dr. McGregory. So your program says a presentation of the graduating residents, and we will get to that in a second. But first, we'll have a presentation by the graduating chief residents, who I know are just chomping at the bit to come up and give a talk. Looking forward to it all year. So without further ado, Drs. Tyler Sternhagen and Annie Ewing.
Thanks, Dr. Sklansky. We're super excited. Hi, I'm Annie Ewing.
I'm Tyler.
And we're the current chief residents. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Residents, faculty, family members. And we, of course, want to take a moment to congratulate our graduating residents on all that they have achieved.
First, to the family and friends of our graduates. We know our residents are far too humble to brag about all that they've accomplished during residency, so we'll take this opportunity to do that for them. So over the course of the last 3 years, your graduates have completed over 10,000 hours of patient care, which includes at least 150 overnights, 60 weekends, and over 8,000 notes. Just for some clarity, each note takes like 15 to 20 minutes, twice that if you're extra diligent.
That's looking at you, Matt, wherever you are.
More importantly, each graduate has touched thousands of lives in the short time here in Madison. You've seen all the other accomplishments that they've already done. They've also helped families celebrate the birth of their children, navigate the challenges of parenting, and support children and parents through some of the most difficult days of their lives. Your graduates have become patient, caring, and driven advocates and leaders in our community.
Now for our graduates, we've seen you grow ourselves from excitable interns on the wards to full-fledged pediatricians. You learned how to manage unexpected challenges, battled long hours, and navigated difficult situations. For each of us, residency was not only about developing experiences and knowledge in pediatrics, but also about developing resilience. While no doubt challenging, we have sincerely appreciated walking this journey with you and know these experiences will serve us all in the careers as pediatricians. To the Pediatrics class of 2024, thank you for all you've taught us. We can't wait to see what you accomplish in the future. Congrats.
Thank you, Chiefs. All right. Well, this is the part of our program where we're going to invite each and every graduating resident up to the stage with their primary care preceptor. And for those of you who are not familiar with how pediatric residency programs work, which is probably most of the crowd, in pediatric residencies, pediatric residents are partnered with a primary care clinic, and they spend half a day a week there throughout their training. And that's where they really learn outpatient primary care medicine. They learn what it's like to be a pediatrician in the community, how to follow up on the needs of their patients, what's going on with their patients' families, and what their lives look like, and how to have the biggest impact. And so in our program, residents are paired with one single community pediatrician over the course of their 3 years that becomes a mentor, friend, and eventually peer for life. So with that said about our program, I'd like to start out with just alphabetically our first resident, Amal Abdullah, and her preceptor, Dr. Daphne Valley.
Hello. Dr. Abdullah joined us after her intern year in Michigan. It isn't much warmer here.
Moving to Houston.
Was it a good switch
We'll see.
to Madison?
Sure.
Yeah. Dr. Abdullah has been not only a delight to work with as a very capable clinician, but a very kind person to both her patients and to us as her coworkers. We have really appreciated her perspective. I have admired her resilience in the face of personal adversity, and she has inspired my sense of fashion. We hope that she enjoys the sultry Houston weather in her fellowship in pediatric neurology. Best wishes.
Well, I just want to thank everybody in the program director, the faculty, the associate program directors, my co-resident who made this easier for me. Coming from center of Africa to Wisconsin was not an easy move, but thank you for everybody who made it really feel like home here. Another family away from home here too. Thank you for everything, and you now have a home in Houston. So whenever you're visiting, come and say hi. Thank you.
I gotta work on my bag and hugs it. All right, thanks, Amal. Okay, next up, Dr. David Arndt, presented by Kristen Martin. Dr. Kristen Martin.
Hello, everybody. Like Dr. Clancy said, I'm Kristen Martin, and I've had the joy of working with Dave for the last 3 years. Dave, from the start, you've been incredibly personable, so much so that my patients generally want to see him, not me. In fact, I was cleaning up my office last week and found 2, if not 3 notes saying, "We love Dr. Dave" from various patients. I didn't have any of these notes, so it's been really fun to watch you grow over the last 3 years and confidence and your knowledge. And I was very proud when you decided to pivot from going into intensive care to the great world of general pediatrics. You're phenomenal with kids and families, and that's a skill that I can't teach. With my last few minutes to talk, they capped us at 3 minutes this year due to some long speeches in the past. Here's a few pieces of advice that I continue to work on every day. 1, listen more than you talk. 2, be confident in yourself and your training, confidence in what you know, and more importantly, what you don't know. Sometimes the best answer is, I don't know, but I'll find out. And number 3, always find the joy in your work and the patients you help and your life outside of work too. Thank you for letting me be part of your training. I like to think I've really had an impact on your journey, although not enough, as I have not broken you from your love of Costco hot dogs and energy drinks. Congratulations, Dave.
I'm going over 3 minutes. So when you pick out your preceptor, they give you like a list of all the ones that are accepting residents for the year. And it's always like a list of what they do and the things they're interested in. But for Dr. Martin, had a little thing that was unique for her. And then it said, I love to bake and I'm an avid runner. And I thought it was great because she runs marathons like once or twice a year, and I run once or twice a year. So we're both avid runners. But Kristen, you have this wonderful grassroots style of medicine that made me want to do the exact same career specialty as you. And you have nothing short of just a militant, I call it militant kindness that you shine out there to everybody who's around you. And that more than anything meant the world to this guy. So thank you so much.
Okay, our next resident is Dr. Hannah Glanz, presented by me in lieu of her preceptor, who is on the way back from a long trip. So I'm reading from Dr. Plum. I'm sorry I cannot be here tonight to celebrate your graduation. I hope you and your family are having a great time. Since the first day of Continuity Clinic, Hannah knew she wanted to do a HEMONC fellowship. I thought, uh-oh, she is not going to be interested in primary care. I was fortunately wrong. She approached each day in Continuity Clinic with determination and eagerness to learn. She asked great questions, followed up on her patients after she saw them, and even seemed to enjoy seeing those anxious teenagers. Nothing seemed to faze her. Turns out there are similarities between HEMONC and primary care. Both specialties follow patients over a long period of time. The skills and knowledge Hannah gained during her time in Continuity Clinic will serve her well for fellowship. I'm thrilled that Hannah will stay in Madison for her fellowship, so I know we will be able to stay in touch. Thank you for all of your help on Wednesday afternoons. It has been a true pleasure getting to know you and working with you. And since I'm talking, I will echo that it has been a great pleasure to know you and work with you and see your dedication to education, patient care, standing up for your interns, and making yourself and this program the best that you can make them. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you very much for your kind words. And I know Dr. Plum isn't here today, but I just wanted to say to everybody else how great it was to work with her over the past 3 years. She's just a phenomenal teacher, and she also approaches each patient with such poise and empathy. And I think a lot of something that speaks to that is a lot of the people that work in her clinic are people that she trained and she was a preceptor for, and then came back to her clinic at East Terrace to work with her kind of as her colleagues. So I really appreciate the last 3 years with her, and congrats to everybody else graduating tonight.
Okay. Well, we have these lumped in order, then I'll sit down. The next person is Mel Johnson, whose preceptor also could not be here tonight. And Dr. Johnson can come up for me to say some nice things about her, although, oh, there she is. Okay, good. Oh, everyone's coming. So Mel is in her pediatric neurology fellowship right now, having completed her 2-year general pediatrics requirements last year, rejoining her class for graduation. Her preceptor couldn't make it, giving me this great honor. Mel came to us with these 6 kids in tow, which included, at the time, 1-year-old twins. Hi, guys. To make matters even more challenging, she dealt with multiple miscommunications from our graduate medical education office and had her car break down, all while starting on one of the most demanding rotations in residency. When I tried to convince her to take a break during that time, I unwittingly risked bodily harm, standing in the way of her commitment to her patients, team, and work. It should have been no surprise that by the time her 2nd year rolled around, I had numerous faculty members stroll by my office to tell me that Mal had caught an error no one else had noticed in the patient's entire stay, or figured out something about a child that no one else had realized in years of caring about them. Her attention to detail, tenacity, compassion, and love of medicine make her an outstanding physician, and one I am very, very glad and comforted and reassured to see on notes consulting on my patients. Mel, congrats on finishing general pediatrics and your 1st year of fellowship. I'm glad that we have you for another 2 years.
So I don't know if Dr. Sleeth is going to watch this or not. I hope he does. I originally had started with a different clinic preceptor who was wonderful, but she retired after a year. And I was kind of in a spot where I didn't have anybody to take me in, and Dr. Sleeth took me in, and it was a really wonderful fit. And he was just a really excellent physician. I learned so much from him, and I just really appreciate him taking me in during that time. And when he already had another resident, and he did an excellent job of juggling 2 residents. But and I also just wanted to thank anybody. Obviously, this wasn't an easy task to do, and anybody who stopped either by me or Dr. Sklansky's office and gave me supportive words or just encouragement. I hope you know how much that meant to me, and I still, like, every single comment that was made to me just means so much to me, and I think of it all the time. So thank you.
All right, next up is Dr. Jack Quake, presented by Dr. Catherine Lemon.
Hello. I don't think I need a timer, but let me know. Okay. As you probably can tell, Jack is a pretty amazing resident. I really probably could have actually said nothing and just said ditto to all that you've seen. But just a few things. I remember the first day that we met for a tour of Union Corners Clinic, and we went and had brunch at the Daisy Cafe down the street. It was really hot. But I remember being immediately impressed by your energy and your enthusiasm and eagerness to get started in your pediatrics residency. And I knew you'd be an amazing fit when you showed up on the first day to clinic with a box of donuts. Instant hero. You started with this solid breadth of knowledge and clinical skills. I thought, how am I going to do this? What am I going to teach you? You were always looking to improve, and I loved sharing all the clinical pearls that you would write down in your notebook at the end of each clinic day to kind of reflect back on the things that we experienced during that day. It's been an honor to precept you during your residency, and to watch you grow and mature into the excellent pediatrician that you are today. As we all know, residency is really hard, and you did all these extra things on top of it. And I just watched you take on each rotation with that same energy and enthusiasm that you had on day one, which is pretty amazing. Except maybe the NICU just last month. Not so exciting. I truly enjoyed each and every Tuesday afternoon with you. And I missed you greatly when you were gone. Congratulations and best wishes for successful fellowship. May your passion for medicine continue to burn bright and guide you on this new path. And we're so happy to have you stay here in Madison, so please don't be a stranger. I'll let you know when I order crumble. You can come on over. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Lemon. I was starting my little thank you with like, oh, it must have been so hard having a brand new intern from a completely different background, who's navigating a new medical culture, a new medical system. And looking back, I couldn't think of a better fit for someone to be my clinical preceptor. And I have had the greatest privilege working and learning from you and working alongside the Union Corners team. So I grew a lot since then, and I owe a lot of that to you. Thank you. And just to add on, the last 3 years, I have a lot of up and downs over the past 3 years in residency and outside of residency. I have a lot of appreciation and gratitude to the program, who's always been very supportive and flexible. There are a lot of amazing mentors who always took time out to give a listening ear and much needed guidance and advice. I also want to thank my parents, who unfortunately could not be here today, for their constant support and sacrifice, who, as not one of their kids, but two of their kids came abroad to pursue further training, and the third one just left today for a career abroad too. I want to thank my stellar sister, who's also a neurosurgery resident, who despite her very busy, much busier schedule, had a lot of time dedicated to build a home away from home. And I want to thank the Lebanese community here that I found, who carry so much from home and have been a constant presence and solid presence through the past 3 years. So many thanks to give out. It takes a village to raise a child and a whole community to complete a pediatrics residency. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Jack. All right. Next up is Dr. Matt Lammers, presented by Dr. Greg DeMurray.
All right. Well, when I first met Matt, I think it was in clinic at Access Community Health Center, and I read his first note, and it was slightly shorter than War and Peace, and I knew he was destined to be an infectious disease doctor. So, super proud of him then. It's just been a pleasure to work with the past 3 years, and I just want to demonstrate one of the most accomplishments that he had that I'm so proud of him for. At Access Community Health Center, he developed our protocol for caring for recent refugees and immigrants from Central and South America. I think most of you know there's a lot of immigration right now from Venezuela, Honduras, Nicaragua, and a lot of people are seeing some horrible, horrible conditions. Matt developed this whole protocol. He educated all the providers at Access Community Health Center to the point where they're coming to him for advice, and that is so rewarding to me as an attending to see, you know, another doctor coming to my learner, you know, to ask questions, and again, destined to be a great ID doctor. And I want to give you one word of advice. When I was a resident in your shoes, you know, one of my mentors was Hugh Moffett, who was a member of this department. I did my residency here. Some of you remember Hugh. And Hugh wrote a textbook. It's a textbook on a problem-oriented approach to infectious diseases. And in the intro to his textbook, he quotes Sam Spade, who was in the Maltese Falcon, played by Humphrey Bogart. And Sam Spade says in the Maltese Falcon, it's not always easy to know what to do. And that's one of the hardest things to grasp as a doctor, but you're going to be in that situation time and time again. But I know, Matt, you will do very, very well, and you will know what to do. And there'll be times when you won't, but you'll figure it out. So I'm so proud of you, and you are going to be the absolute best ID doctor I can imagine, and hospitalist too, you know.
Thank you so much to everyone, and Dr. DeMarie as well, who we were asked to rank in order for our preference on continuity preceptor, but not asked to write an essay about why me and no one else should have him. And thank you to everyone else in the entire infectious diseases department and hospital medicine for kind of their guidance on this unique journey towards fellowship.
And hospital medicine. Next up is Melissa Luwaji, presented by Dr. Andy Jones.
As the very dutiful preceptor I am, I avoided writing any speech for this because, frankly, I didn't want to, because it meant that I had to acknowledge that you were graduating and I'd have to say goodbye. And that's just too hard for me. So instead, you're going to get a little bit of words from the heart here. I felt so lucky that you selected me to work with as your preceptor. It was very clear to me from day one that you were not only kind and very compassionate, but had such a drive for learning. I mean, who else does how many thousands of hours of pediatric training, as our lovely chief said, while also being a competitive gymnast? That's just crazy. And you're so hardworking and so take such ownership over your own education. And of course, now that you're ending, you are the embodiment of a wonderful pediatrician. You are caring, you're a lifelong learner, and your patients in Monroe will be well taken care of. I love that you share my enthusiasm and passion for caring for neurodiverse children and sharing neurodiversity acceptance and education with others. And I was so impressed that you took that passion and really grabbed some residents and spearheaded a project to make our whole system better at that as well. You are a unicorn. And that's all.
I did prepare some things to say about you, which is probably not surprising to Andy because whenever I'm in clinic, I try to really prep my patients beforehand and I don't like add-ons, but I do like seeing them. I knew when I came to residency that I wanted to be a primary care doctor. And so I was told by everyone that Andy was an amazing primary care doctor. And so I wanted to be her resident. And Andy is one of the greatest doctors I've ever had the honor of working with, genuinely. And those were also huge shoes to fill when I was showing up at clinic on Thursday afternoons as a new intern. And people got me instead of Andy, who they were expecting and who they knew and loved. And sometimes after clinic, if I was having a crisis of confidence, Andy would sit with me and talk with me. And if you've ever been to Union Corners, Andy's office has like an entire like candy bar, like a huge candy selection. And so when I was having a bad day, she would send me home with like one of the most beautiful bespoke lollipops you've ever seen in your life. I would eat that on my way home. And slowly but surely, I started to become more confident. And I think a lot of that was because Andy trusted me with even her most difficult patients, with her most difficult patient scenarios. She let me go in and be the doctor for her panel, who she has such a heart for. And now this month, I've been running her panel, which has been really exciting. And I promise I'm going to finish the Friday notes. And in addition to that, Andy has become such a dear friend. Andy has a couch that she put in on her office so that students and mentees can come and sit and talk. And there's a lot of Thursday afternoons I came and I sat down and she just listened to me and things I was going through. And so thank you so much. I'm glad I'm not going too far away and we can still meet up and see each other. And I just wanted to say thank you to the whole residency program, to my family, to Matt. Residency was only one of several hard things I walked through in the last 3 years. And I just appreciate all of the love and the support that everyone gave to me. So thank you.
All right. Next up is Dr. Nicole Majachani and her preceptor, Dr. Allison Craig.
Good evening. It is a privilege to tell you 4 things about Dr. Nicole Majachani. The first is that to know Nicole is to know sunshine. A lot of nodding heads in the room feel her warmth. She literally charms patients and parents and all of my staff. In fact, on the days that she is post-call or on a different rotation, they stop by my office and are like, "Oh, is Nicole here?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry, she's post-call, she's not here." And they leave the room uh, and I say, "Who was that?" And they, and someone has to say, "That was one of the receptionists." And I was like, "Oh, she literally has charmed everyone in the building." She's got 5 out of 5 reviews from all of her. I don't even know why I do reviews for the patients because they're always the same. The second thing is that she had to learn more than anybody else in this room in residency. In the first months of residency, not only did she have to learn UW Epic EMR, she had to learn Meritor EMR, and she had to learn Group Health's Epic EMR. So she had to do 3 different types of EMR, and I really appreciate that she had the patience through that. But she's been a constant learner throughout the whole thing. Her father whispered to me during the keynote about the 24 years of education you've all had to pursue, and said that she's always been reading and learning and reading and learning for all of those 24 years. And I am can bear witness to that. The third thing is that one of the best things about Dr. Majachani is that she has no car. What that means is that we had some extra time at the end of our clinic day to debrief as we were navigating University Avenue together. And we would talk about the difficulties, the ups and downs of residency. And I just want to take a moment to not only thank all of the residents who've navigated their residency with such determination, but really to recognize that you did this during a pandemic. All of you are pandemic residents, and I think we should just give a round of applause for all of you for surviving that. But despite that, the challenges of residency, Dr. Majachani really always stayed authentic and cheerful and positive. And and it was just an inspiration for me. I'm not sure who gave more pep talks, her to me or me to her. The last thing is, it was common for Dr. Majachani to tell patients at some point during her time with them that we are all human. And I think she offered a lot of comfort to patients in understanding our shared humanity in the care during times that were difficult, or in planning for how to avoid complications down the road by making good choices now. And I just want to add that Dr. Majachani is a very special human being. And I am confident that the babies of St. Louis will be very lucky to have her looking out for them in her NICU fellowship. It's just been a joy to watch you grow. And thank you for being in Wisconsin. Oh, and I also want to say welcome to Dr. and Mrs. Majachani for visiting us here in Wisconsin all the way from South Africa. You've raised a wonderful daughter.
I just want to say thank you to Dr. Craig. She's been truly a phenomenal preceptor, friend, mentor, teacher, and I think now part of my family too. Yeah, I don't have a car, so every Wednesday I have no choice but to go home with her. She won't let me take my Uber, but that's literally the time we do our 5-minute feedback for clinic, and then a lot of just talking about life and how to navigate through residency and general life as well. And I'd also like to thank the program. I think throughout every rotation and all the years I've met various people in different stages and made indirect mentors who have truly impacted my experience here in Madison. And I'm very grateful that I came to this program, and I'm pretty sad that I'm leaving, but I know that you guys have equipped me well for where I'm headed to. And I would like to thank my parents as well and my family back at home for supporting me through this journey. It's not easy being separated from them, but it's I guess it's worth it. So yeah.
How many times has someone referred to Nicole with sunshine? Like a lot, right? Okay, next up, Dr. Ryan McMunn, presented by Dr. Jess Babel.
The greatest compliment I ever received from.
It seems better.
Welcome.
It seems better. Hi.
Yes,
Hello.
feels great. The greatest compliment I ever received from Ryan was the day he told me I was an osteopath in disguise. We had just left a 2-month-old's well child visit in which I taught the parents abdominal massage for constipation using a technique I made up. Ryan likely doesn't even remember making that comment to me, but I won't forget how it made me feel that I was providing good holistic care that mattered. Ryan is a DO, Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with osteopathic training, it's a model of training physicians that emphasizes a whole person approach to medicine. One which partners with patients and embraces the connection of body, mind, and spirit in delivering care. Some osteopathic physicians, including Ryan, also practice OMT, a form of hands-on manipulation of muscles, tissues, and joints to treat pain. Ryan exemplifies what it means to provide outstanding patient-centered and holistic medicine. Skills that were obvious from our first days of working together. Ryan listens, reflects, and responds to concerns in a way that is meaningful to each patient. I've been lucky enough to see firsthand how he uses OMT to provide sustained healing to patients beyond what any conventional medicine could provide. We should all be so lucky as to have our children cared for by Dr. McMunn. As I reflect on our last 3 years of practicing medicine together, Ryan teaching me just as much, if not more, as I taught him, it went so incredibly fast because it was so incredibly fun. I'm very grateful for all the times we spent laughing, learning, sharing about our lives, poking fun at each other and our continuity clinic counterparts, Tess and Rory. Being a continuity clinic preceptor is among the greatest gifts of my professional life, and working with Ryan has reinforced this sentiment for me. I'm very grateful to all the people in Ryan's life who have supported him on his life journey, particularly his fantastic parents who created such a caring and thoughtful person, his in-laws who are a supportive presence, and most notably his wife, Hannah, who partnered with Ryan through thick and thin during the challenges of residency. You, Graham, and Wesley have brought joy, meaning, and laughter and support that make all this possible.
I feel like I need a second to collect myself after that. Thank you. As we have alluded to many times, this has been a long road of training for all of us. So I've got a lot of people I have to thank. So I will be going over 3 minutes as well. First, I want to thank Dan, the program leadership, our awesome program coordinators, the chiefs, and all the other faculty here for the opportunity to train at UW. I'm a local boy, so this was like a dream to come back here to train. And I feel very grateful for this opportunity and the support I've received from everybody in the meantime. I want to thank all the faculty that I've had the opportunity to learn from. I've learned a tremendous amount from all of you, and I've had a really fun time doing it too, which has been such a great gift for me as I transition into practice. Specifically, I want to thank Dr. McGregory. I don't know where you're sitting. Oh, hey, you're right there. Dr. Tyler and Dan. For their support for the osteopathic pathway. I know we've talked about that a lot already, but that's been something that's meant a lot to me throughout my time here, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity. I have a lot of thanks to say, but I really can't thank anybody more than Jess. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure of working with her, I don't think I could ask for a better role model as I enter my future into primary care. So I want to tell you a couple of reasons why that is. Jess consistently provides thoughtful, compassionate, and practical care for each and every one of her patients. Her teaching style skillfully and always tactfully uncovered my many knowledge gaps, but provoked a lot of synthesis of thought to help me fill those. And I really feel well prepared going into practice because of her. She is one of the most empathetic listeners I've ever met in my life, and I've learned probably more about communication and connection with people from her than the practice of medicine, and that has been a tremendous amount as well. Jess, thank you for your mentorship, your teaching, your kindness, and your friendship. I think I'm going to miss our Thursday afternoons in clinic more than anything else in residency. I want to thank all of my co-residents. This has been a tremendous time, like we've all talked about, and I really am grateful for all the friendships we've made over the last couple of years. And then lastly, I want to thank my family. I'm lucky enough, I've got my parents here, my in-laws, and my wife are here tonight, and I've got a bunch of family watching online. Hi, Grandma and Grandpa. Nobody deserves more thanks and recognition, though, than I think my wife, Hannah. Like all the other resident parents who I really strongly believe are the unsung heroes of this whole experience. You have endured many 12-day stretches and like 160 nights, I guess, and me changing my career path like a dozen different times. And most notably, welcoming a new baby into our family amidst this whole mix. So amidst all of that, you were a loving foundation for our whole family and supported me through all of that. So I appreciate you and I love you a lot. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, let me give you your bag. It's different this year. My bag workflow is different this year. I'm struggling a little. All right. Next up, Dr. Maciej Majaskowski, presented by Dr. Prasanna Raman.
I'm Prasanna Raman, and I work at the UW Health Stoughton. What can I say about you, Marchi? Let's see. You know, for some people who would recognize the literary reference, there were Tuesdays with Maury. I had Wednesdays with Marchi. He came to us as a very raw intern in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And he is now a seasoned pediatrician, mature and ready to move on to a fellowship in pulmonary medicine at MCW. Good going, Marchi. One of the things that maybe many people know about and many don't is that Marchi has a great collection of fun and funky socks. What are you wearing today, Marchi? Let's see. Oh, plain socks. Come on, really? Anyway, so just like you could get a glimpse of his socks now and then, you get glimpses of Marchi's colorful personality and wry sense of humor from time to time, hiding under that calm demeanor that he projects. Marchi is best known, though, in our clinic for the time he spends with his patients. There were times when I would have to say, Marchi, you have 20 minutes, no more, with this patient. Marchi, of course, proceeded to just ignore me and took all the time he thought he needed with the patients. He's a great listener, and that's going to serve you very, very well in your future career. He writes the most complete notes that I have ever seen a resident write. I had to finally say, Marchi, do you think you could write bullet point notes so that it would be easier for me to read? To quote and paraphrase A.A. Milne and Winnie the Pooh, unless someone cares, the words are just words. It's the caring that makes the difference. Marchi, you definitely care. Cares enough to spend all the time he needs with patients. So good for you. I know this is your day, but I have to say a few words about Aubrey and your kids. Where are those kids? Stand up, stand up. So everyone, we've all heard how much it takes to go through medical school and residency. But for Marchi and his family, this has been particularly grueling, from multiple moves, Australia, Florida, then Madison, a demanding but excellent residency program. Aubrey has been with him every step of the way. And they have managed, while balancing two careers, to raise two fabulous, well-adjusted kids who are filled with wonder and curiosity about the world around them. Kudos to you guys for a fabulous family, and kudos to the grandparents who have also been very helpful in raising those kids and showering them with love. So have fun and good luck in your fellowship.
So just like the first day of clinic with you today, without any prepared remarks, I have to say, I think the match was perfect. I was a little worried about the drive to Stoughton, but I couldn't have learned more with anybody else and couldn't have become a better physician with anyone else. So I hope you know my heart is full of gratitude. And just to piggyback on Ryan's comments, just as far as the foundation here, when I look out, I see a lot of familiar faces and a lot of faces that I would have no problem coming to with any questions, any mentorship, or any advice. So thank you all. Thank you to my colleagues. And again, thank you to my family, especially Aubrey. Really appreciate it. So.
All right. Next up is Dr. Dan Murphy, presented by Dr. Allison Lindell.
This is great. All right. Residents, faculty, families, lend me your ears, for I am here not to graduate Daniel, but to praise him. Please don't graduate, please stay. Okay. I would like to celebrate Daniel Murphy. I have been lucky enough to work with him for the last 2 years, during which time he has consistently shown his dedication and kindness in pediatric care. Primary care is his passion. He has worked to promote these goals even beyond his weekly time in the clinic with his earnest project to engage more kids, teens, and young adults in hiking, connecting to nature, and helping them build healthy habits that will last a lifetime. Daniel is not a person for big gestures, and his quiet strength and patience have spoken volumes in every interaction with families and patients in our clinic. Now, as he heads off to Cleveland with his wonderful wife and beautiful daughter, Rosalind, we will know he'll keep making a difference wherever he goes. So congratulations on all you've achieved, and here's to the adventures that lie ahead for you. We will all miss you at Junction Road, Patty especially, and in the residency program, but we know your impact will live on in the hearts of everyone that you've touched. It's been an honor to get to work with you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Lindell. You've been wonderful, all your empathy, all your help, pushing me when I need a little bit of pushing. Thanks for the program, Dr. Sklansky, career advice, all that good stuff. The administration, all them, co-residents to complain to when I needed to complain. And most of all, Emily, for being the biggest support I could ever imagine, before and after the baby too. All right, thanks.
Congratulations. Okay. Next up is Dr. Kaya Nelson, whose preceptor is Dr. Mala Mathur, who was not able to be here tonight. And so Dr. Andy Jones will be presenting.
Hello, everybody. I have, these are Dr. Mather's direct words, not mine, okay. Although I have plenty of great things to say too. I have the distinct pleasure of working with Kaya for the past 3 years. She has been a fabulous resident to work with. She is incredibly smart, is a master at building great rapport with kids and families, is extremely professional, and always has a smile on her face. From her early days intern year, I could tell she was eager to learn as much as she could about caring for patients. Kaya and I bonded over her desire to practice outpatient primary care in the community, which is what I did for the first 15 years of my pediatric practice. In so many ways, I think it is the perfect fit for Kaya, as she was always so excited to come to Continuity Clinic, and that excitement was infectious. We all looked forward to Wednesday afternoons at 20 South Park Clinic, where we shared the ups and downs of the life over herbal teas and lunches from Joe's Bistro Cafe at Meritor. All the staff loved working with her too. Kaya had the incredible opportunity to become a parent during residency to such a beautiful baby boy, Eldon, and this further enhanced her ability to provide meaningful guidance to other parents during well-care visits. It was lovely to see Kaya blossom with her pediatric skills and her ability to provide authentic parenting guidance. Kaya also learned a lot about patient care through asking discerning questions when we debriefed after patient visits each clinic session. Through her own growth mindset, Kaya had learned the art of being a compassionate physician who can skillfully navigate resources and develop meaningful plans for complex patients. Her patients are the lucky ones and will benefit from her expertise and her kindness. However, I also consider myself one of the lucky ones who had the opportunity to work with Kaya over these past 3 years, and I've learned so much from her as well. Wishing you all the best, Kaya, on your graduation from residency. May you continue to find joy in your work and inspire others to do the same.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Jones, for reading that. But I just want to say thanks to Dr. Mather for being an amazing, amazing mentor. Luckily, even though she couldn't be here tonight, we were able to have dinner earlier this week and celebrate graduation and Corinne's birthday, my co-resident clinic buddy. So it was I was glad we had that time. But she's just been such a good support for me and taught me so much and has been an amazing role model. If any of you have ever worked with her, she's great. I also want to thank the entire 20 South Park clinic team. That's my continuity clinic site. And because I'm part of the primary care pathway, I was able to spend a lot of time there. And so really, a lot of the other faculty and support staff there have taught me so much as well. So that has just been such a pleasure to develop into the physician I am today from all of those great people who taught me there. And then I also want to thank all the program directors, the program staff, and the former and current chiefs for being just so supportive to me during my residency. I mean, not only supporting me as a professional during this time, but also as a human through my many pregnancies during residency. I always just share this story of when it was me and 2 other of my co-residents were both pumping at work, and our residency fridge is packed and disgusting. And so Dr. Sklansky just was like, "Oh, take my fridge from my office," and he just selflessly gave us his fridge from his office to store our milk in, and that was just so meaningful for me. And then I want to thank all the UW faculty who have taught me so much, and then my co-residents as well, who have just made residency so fun, especially those I've worked with overnight and have put up with my weird, deep conversations at 3 a.m. when I'm half awake. So thank you for making this such a fun journey. And then I also want to thank, of course, my patients as well for inspiring me every single day to be better and to do better. And last but not least, I want to thank my wonderful family for all of their support and love during this crazy process of the last 24 years, really. And especially my husband, who during the last 3 years has literally made me breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, cleaned the entire house, done all the laundry, raised our son when I was at work, and also just supported and loved me as a sleep-deprived resident and a hormonal pregnant lady. So I really, really appreciate you, and I wouldn't be up here today without you, so thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, next up is Dr. Anthony Salvatore, presented by Dr. Laura Hauser.
I'm realizing as I am hearing all these wonderful remarks that I might have taken the short speech thing a little too seriously. So I just want to say this in no way reflects negatively at all on Anthony. I've been honored to work with Anthony at the East Terrace Drive Clinic for these past 3 years. He's become very much a member of our team and will be missed dearly, even though Jamie may not be willing to admit it quite yet. I think that the thing that strikes me most when thinking about working with Anthony is observing him interacting with his patients and seeing his calming presence. He has a way of fully focusing on the person he's caring for, and his patients can tell that not only is he compassionate, but he's also knowledgeable and determined to get them the care that they need. I'm very confident that he will take his powerful presence with him as he transitions to the next phase of training as a nephrology fellow at the University of Washington in Seattle. It's been great to work with you.
I just want to say thank you to everyone in the program. Thank you to my family. And a super special shout out to Dr. Hauser for all the time and the patience and the teaching over the past 3 years, and for developing me from the intern who probably had to tilt the computer during the screen a couple of times to Google some pretty basic Gen Peds questions, to the confident pediatrician that I am today, and for really teaching me how impactful a doctor can be in a patient's life. So thank you very much.
A short speech for a man of few words is perfect. Classic surgical precision. All right, next up is Dr. Rachel Strecker, presented by Dr. Sanjeev Jain.
Hello, everyone. Well, first of all, congratulations to all the graduates. I had the privilege to work with Rachel, a wonderful resident for the last 3 years. It was absolute pleasure to watch her grow into a skilled pediatrician she is today. I remember when I first met her 3 years ago, she was kind of eager to evolve herself from being a medical student to an intern. And in the initial days, she would stay late in the office to make sure she's doing everything correct, finishes her work on time. But her positive attitude towards her work, she quickly became very efficient in patient care and navigating the busy clinic schedule. Many times she would come early, read about the patients in the clinic, even those patients who are not assigned to her. And she became very efficient very quickly in managing the patient load she had. Her positive work ethic actually kind of spread to the other interns and residents who were working with her. She very quickly became a teacher to them. Instead of being a learner, she became a teacher and a friend to them. There were a lot of things I learned from her. Some of the things I would say is she showed me a lot of computer tricks, epic health link tricks, which will stay with me. She created a lot of dot phrases, which will also stay with me. So thank you for that. One of the most thing which I admire about her is her focus toward patient care. Even after the patient had left the clinic, she would find articles or information how to educate them, would call them after hours, will send them my chart messages. Okay, this is the information I have. This might help you. I think her work ethic is really very strong, and that's something I've learned from her. Thank you for that. She's going to be a chief resident here and staying here for 1 more year. Our program is very lucky that she's staying here. She's hoping to stay longer in Madison, and I hope she finds a job here. I think wherever she works, I'm sure she's going to be a great asset for that program. Thank you, Rachel, for being a wonderful colleague, and I was lucky to have found her. Thank you.
Thank you all for a great 3 years. I remember sitting at intern orientation, listening to the administrative team, chatting through the most embarrassing or difficult time of their residency, but being able to say that despite those hard things, they are now here doing amazing things. I remember thinking, wow, that's great that they made it through residency and did those amazing things, but I'm definitely not going to do that. The light at the tunnel at that time seemed way too far away. But after a rough first day of intern year on white team, driving home from the hospital at 11 p.m. and calling my mom and my now husband with quite a few tears saying, why the heck did I do this? And how am I going to do this for 3 more years? But I am so thankful for it all now that I'm standing at the end of these 3 years. Dr. Jane was a huge part of making these 3 years such a brilliant experience. Whether it was always checking in on whether I ate before clinic started, answering every question I had, which was a lot, offering us mints and always having them at the best times, or having all of us over for a delicious home-cooked meal with his whole family every year. I am so thankful for this program and all that it has taught me and my continuity clinic with Dr. Jane. And I am so thankful for my family who has made countless drives from Pittsburgh to come and visit. And so thankful for my husband who's also gotten those texts that Dr. Chen mentioned of I'm at the hospital and can't talk, but I'll call you when I can, which is usually a few hours later. But thank you all for such a great experience.
Congratulations. All right. Well, last but not least, we have Dr. Abby Whitman, who I know cannot be here tonight. She is feeling a little bit ill, and her preceptor also could not make it tonight, so that is fitting. But I know that Dr. Jones still has a few words to say about her. I think we should go forward with that. So, Dr. Jones.
I promise this is the last time you guys will have to listen to me tonight. Dr. Merwin typically would have loved to come here, even if Abby was unable to make it, and he wanted me to share these words on his behalf. Abby, I am going to miss you. Your ever-positive personality made my weeks and years. I know the patients you saw are going to wonder why you aren't there. I have learned so much from you. Thank you for making me a better teacher and healthcare provider. I am so happy for your pregnancy and you, Drew and the dogs, Jackson, Bella. You will make such a great family. Your journey is just starting. Good luck with chief year and fellowship after that. Enjoy the ride and enjoy your family. You will make such a great addition to whatever team you end up on as a provider. Dr. Tom.
And yes, definitely a great addition to our team coming up very soon as a chief. We've gotten to that last point in the program. You do have to listen to me one more time, unlike Dr. Jones. I'd like to begin these closing remarks by giving a lot of thanks. First, I want to thank our program staff, Carrie Bruckner, Brittany Lockman, and Ronnie Peterson. Carrie also could not join us tonight, but I hope she's watching on video. She already knows everything there is to know about our system and is expanding her expertise into undergraduate medical education, speaking at national conferences, and planning administrative innovations. Brittany, in addition to not just knowing everything about the program, but kind of knowing everything about everything, just completed a year-long national fellowship in leadership and research development and continues to shower us with creativity, humanism, insight, and technical expertise. Ronnie runs a very tight administrative ship. In addition to taking on new roles and knowing the policies of UW Health and every caterer in the greater Madison area, she approaches the job with the calm composure that is fitting for someone who literally comes to us from a green room. I also want to thank Philip, Rebecca, and Maggie for the streaming, coordination, and media work essential for this event. This program couldn't function without weighty contributions from our associate program directors, Drs. Bauer, Riedinger, Closter, McGregory, and Jones, all in their respective fiefdoms of the program. I got it right. It's opposite of Barney. I also want to thank our outstanding chiefs, Tyler Sternhagen and Annie Ewing. Thank you for executing increasingly complex backup systems, giving us transparent feedback about the program, and for your creativity in planning our new world after the upcoming colossal ACGME changes. All while interviewing for fellowships, remote house purchasing, remote buying everything in your house that broke in the first year of homeownership, and having respective new children and puppies, neither of which sleep or are continent. Um, your, your problem solving, sense of humor, and dedication to the residents and our department are amazing, and I'll miss you both professionally and personally. Congratulations on the peace you'll have next year, not having anyone barge into your office to tell you stories about their kids' potty humor, their emails from third grade, their own 1980s anecdotes, or the deals they're proud of getting on eBay. Rachel and Abby, if you're listening online, I'm sure they prepared you plenty. I'm also personally thankful for Dr. Moreno's leadership and support of the residency program and for the mentorship that our faculty provides to our learners, myself included. So thank you to all of you who mentor, everyone, including me. I'm also incredibly thankful for having such resilient, dedicated, and capable residents throughout all the years of our program. Often underappreciated in these events, although appreciated tonight, are the families of the residents who sacrifice time together for their loved ones to achieve excellence as physicians. I personally appreciate you entrusting us with your children, partners, and parents to help them along this journey. I remember my own parents yelling at me over the phone indignantly, "You worked 80 hours in a week? How can they do that to you?" Like, I will call them. My parents are attorneys. Like, I'll call her. I'll call her. And I had to talk them down. So anyway, families, I'm sorry about the hours, and I appreciate how much you did to get these fantastic physicians to the place they're at right now. And last but most importantly, I'm grateful to the families and children in our community for the privilege of caring for them. Seniors, you started residency after one of the most disruptive periods in modern medical training. The diversity of experiences with which you arrived is unrivaled in my time on faculty, and I think everyone else's. You ranged from literally saving people from the worst explosion in the history of your country to getting almost no pediatric experience in medical school due to COVID-related shutdowns. Some of you, like me, had no responsibilities at all outside of residency. Others had large families of your own to acclimate, in addition to the stresses of starting the most demanding training period of your career. Along the way, COVID-related travel restrictions resulted in numerous revisions to our schedule for everyone in the class. Then, just when you arrived, we had an RSV surge in summer when you were supposed to be getting your sea legs. Regardless of the roads traveled and barriers faced on arrival, you came together, took care of our community, and supported one another. I couldn't be prouder. It seems like there's a lot of conflict, upheaval, and change in our world. I'm not sure whether that's due to a true increase in those phenomena or changes in our access to news and the way we consume it. It's probably both. One notion that brings me solace, though, is that we have a tremendous advantage in bridging gaps, calming conflict, and advocating for best practices as pediatricians. First, we are highly trained listeners. There's a reason our encounters take so long. Medically, we listen to craft a differential diagnosis and formulate a plan that best suits the family. You've excelled in those skills during your training here. Perhaps more importantly, you've exercised empathy in listening to our patients and families' hopes, regrets, traumas, and concerns, and practiced patience and creativity in addressing them. Returning to the pediatrician advantage in our charge world, you've probably seen headlines or social media posts stating that supporting your physician with facts in an argument doesn't help at all. It doesn't bridge those divides. But truly listening does. And you have incredible preparation for doing just that. As pediatricians, we are also especially well equipped to view issues through multiple lenses. Our interactions include the viewpoints of the child, multiple caregivers, and sometimes multiple specialists, all coming with visions of how to attain the best outcome. a major component of the hidden curriculum in our program is building expertise in translating, sharing, and integrating those viewpoints toward a common goal. We should be able to extend that skill out of the patient's room and into our communities. Once we've truly heard and synthesized those viewpoints, we also carry the advantage of having a virtuous North Star, that our opinions are guided by our commitment to the well-being of children. We may have varying thoughts about the best paths to those goals. Greg wants to put a pick in everyone still, probably. I don't, whatever. But whenever we're arguing about that, we both just want the best thing for the child. And I think that it's hard to argue with us as pediatricians who went into the lowest paying medical field and say that we are making any health related argument out of self-interest. You've heard and maybe felt that physicians have less unquestioned authority and respect in society than in decades past. And I think that's very true. And in some cases, it's good. But physicians still garner a lot of respect, especially pediatricians. You may not feel this way, but you're kind of a big deal. Kids can't vote. That's part of the salary thing too. Like they can't vote. But kids can't vote. We must be their advocates. Whether it's calling a classroom teacher, writing an op-ed, attending a city council meeting, or working abroad. I hope that we've given you the tools to get started and fully expect you to use your privilege and societal cachet to keep guiding us all toward better outcomes for children in this very charged world. Seniors, I think I can speak for the entire leadership team when I say that we'll miss you a lot, but look forward to working with you again soon, whether that's as faculty in the community, fellows staying on for more training, or graduates spreading their wings, knowing that we will try to recruit you back when you've completed the next phase. Thanks so much for your hard work, resilience, and positivity over the last 3 years. We are very proud of you. Congratulations, class of 2024. All right, thanks again, everyone, for coming. Make sure to eat the cupcakes. They're good. And enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend with your graduates.
Nicely said. You become very eloquent in your young age. Class. Oh, I was just listening to we've got some great attendings in the clinics, but wow, this was that was cool.
Thanks for coming.
Woo. Yeah, no, I think we got some, but boy, that was really nice.
You know,
really
every year, like Brittany knows